All right. Raw just wrapped. Welcome back to Rapping Wrestling. It's your boy T the Monster, and man, we had a nice little Raw just now. I got some notes I just took. Raw just wrapped. Couple things to talk about here on the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already to Rapping Wrestling. We're trying to get to 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Let's get right into it. So, Raw kicked off, ladies and gentlemen, with Jey Uso, of course, coming through the crowd, and he had a match one-on-one with Grayson Waller. Jey Uso, of course, I believe he did get that win with a spear, and afterwards, right after, Gunther got involved and immediately started choking motherfuckers out like he was Samoa Joe version 2.0. So, again, there's some more oomph being added to this, to the Gunther and Jey Uso feud, as I expected, as I talked about last week on Raw, or last week on Rapping Wrestling, or kind of like Raw, I guess, Rap and Wrestling, the acronyms. Last week, I wanted to see more oomph behind it. Now, one thing I've been noticing in the WWE is they've kind of been spamming like the random assaults and stuff where people just interfere and stuff. So it's like, all right, y'all hitting the spam button on this a little bit, you know, where it's already been like 3 feuds in WWE that had them come and interfere after a match and shit. Yes, I'm smoking on the show because usually I'd be asleep right now, but you know, I decided to get this video in tonight. But Jey Uso and Gunther, of course, that feud is starting to catch a little bit of fire. A couple embers, of course, to kind of fan the flame of that, just to kind of get it going with those two, of course, going into WrestleMania. What I want to see next week, them going into Brussels, like they're going to do the Europe tour next week, so Rapping Wrestling will actually be dropping these shows a little bit earlier, from what I understand. As Michael Cole mentioned, Raw will have a special 3 p.m. start time, of course, them being over in Europe, and we'll be covering it from there. So let's see what they do next week with Jey Uso and Gunther, with them being over in Europe. I wondered like how they're going to like book that, of course, with Gunther being Austrian and being from that area. Of course, what happened there, some other things we got going on that I liked in the show is I did like the confrontation, or was supposed to be Michael Cole interviewing Iyo Sky, but I like that segment with Iyo Sky, Bianca Belair, and Rhea Ripley. Iyo came out, of course, first, then Bianca Belair came out, of course, and then, you know, of course, Rhea Ripley after that came out, and it was a great segment just to kind of show like, all right, Iyo is not the person in the middle that no one's not worried about. Now I love how they kind of like exuded that and showed that, like, let that be her character. She's like, hey, I'm the champ. Y'all should be fighting over me, not fighting over each other about, oh, you wanted her to win or whatever the case may be and shit. So great character work by Iyo Sky. Bianca Belair, of course, great mic work by her and Rhea. Couple shots taken there, of course, with her talking about the whole Jade and Naomi fiasco. So let's see what happens with them, with all 3 of these women. As I predicted, I think they're going to be in a triple threat going into WrestleMania. We'll see what WWE does going forward. But as of now, the seeds that they're planning for this right now, good job, WWE, good job. All right, and then after that, or what I got next on the list that happened on the Monday Night Raw today is, well, y'all peep that chat. Well, after we don't know if it's chat now because we saw it happen backstage, but a luchador came out in the middle of the LWO versus New Day match and interfered. Now, of course, Chad Gable's been gone on this whole like he's about to go find the next best luchador, whole spiel, whole storyline. So Chad Gable, of course, we all thought it was him, especially with the suplex that was pulled off in the match, of course. And then, of course, we saw backstage that, oh, maybe it wasn't Chad Gable. Who was it? Kind of remind me of how they're doing with Local Howdy a little bit. So nice to see Chad Gable back on TV, of course. Let's see what they have with him going into WrestleMania. What kind of feud they set up with that? Will it be with luchadors? Will it be with Penta? Let's see. Good job to see. This is a good thing to see Chad Gable back on TV. Another thing that I want to talk about as well, an interesting feud. Excuse me. A feud with these two that could be interesting going into WrestleMania, and that's going to be AJ Styles and Logan Paul. Now, Logan got booed mercilessly out of the building, and he damn near was unable to speak. Now, it reminds me of what Logan talked about on his podcast, where he said he thinks he has go away heat. Not heat as of being a villain and as a heel, but he thinks he has legitimate heat to where the crowd does not want to see him. And being in New York City of all fucking places, at Madison Square fucking Garden of all places, to hear them be as loud as they are, and as passionate as they are about booing somebody, it makes me think that maybe Logan Paul is right. Who would know better than him than the person who's getting booed at? So, back to what I was saying. AJ Styles and Logan Paul has potential to be a great match. Now, you can boo Logan Paul all you want. He is a great in-ring worker from what we've seen and what he's displayed so far being in WWE. Now, AJ Styles, his resume speaks for itself. I don't need to say anything else. I think you could put AJ Styles in the match with anybody. Literally, you could put AJ Styles in the match with fucking Moppy from Perry Saturn's associate back in the day, and he would have a great match. So one time for AJ Styles and Logan Paul, because they have a chance to truly shine in this up and coming feud at WrestleMania and in this match. So let's see how they built this up going into the next 5 to 6 weeks going into WrestleMania. Of course, them going overseas. Will Logan be able to be there for those overseas dates? I know he talked about being more full-time this year. Let's see what happens with that. But I do want to see, like, that's going to be a good match. Like, you got Logan Paul, of course, being the wrestler he is, and then he's going to get experience being in a match with somebody like AJ Styles too. Another thing I want to talk about real quick is Bayley and Raquel Rodriguez. Now, in this match, of course, the Judgment Day and Liv and everyone getting involved in this match, I do think it was kind of smart just to see Bayley put over Raquel Rodriguez so she can kind of get a chance to go get the Intercontinental Champion for the, what was it, Lyra Valkyrie who has it? So I do like that, that feud and that match, but I think that Bayley, I like that she's putting over talent, but I don't think she's there just yet in her career. I don't know too much about that storyline, but to me, it made it seem like Bayley was there to put her over a little bit. I do think that the Judgment Day is going to break up soon, going back into that a little bit. We did see that backstage, of course, that Dom got a match for Finn Balor against Braun Breaker next week. And Liv was like, well, why don't you get the match for yourself? And he's like, well, I believe in Finn. I think that there's going to be some dissension between them two. But going back to Bayley and Raquel Rodriguez, who's also part of the Judgment Day, it was good to see her win and see what they're kind of going to do with her getting a push going forward, with her being Liv's diesel to Shawn Michaels, let's say. Another thing that happened, like, going back to the LWO and the Lucha thing, going back to that match, let me skip back. I'm sorry that I'm going back and forth, but my notes are all over the place. That was a great tornado tag match with the New Day and LWO. Like, no rules, of course. We saw the tables and everything. Now, that table didn't break because obviously Xavier Woods overshot the table. But I think that was a tremendous show on from the tag team matches to kind of show that even though that Rey Mysterio, Hall of Famer, legit been in the business for 30 plus years, can still put on a great match along with the New Day, who's been there for 2015 now? Kofi been there a good 15 years by himself. I think Wood's been there 10 years, so it's great to see that they can still put on great matches as long as they've been in the business. But I still want to see Big E get back up in there. Let's hope Big E heals up so we can see be part of the New Day. Now, another thing, and lastly but not least, the thing that happened on Raw is the main event, of course. The main event, you got Seth Rollins and CM Punk versus each other in a cage match. Now, first of all, this match started off great. It started off the way a feud should start off between these two, with the intensity that it has and I'll even say damn near disdain or hatred that they have for each other. Fists immediately the moment that Punk gets into the ring, fists flying, and it seemed like a brawl. It took a little while to get a couple actual solid bumps there going in the match. Now, again, this was supposed to be the third and final match between these two to end their feud and to decide, like, going forward, hey, all right, let's get these two against someone else going forward. It was supposed to end their feud. However, one thing that I talked about last week and one thing that's coming to fruition now is Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns came out in the match, of course, pulled Seth out, causing him to win. Seth, of course, shocked us with the Macaulay Culkin look on his face, with Macaulay Culkin in the crowd, and looked like he seen a damn ghost. Roman Superman punched his ass and just started beating the shit out of him outside of the ring. And then Roman saw CM Punk in the ring with Paul Heyman. I'm pausing there for a second because drama, cinema, right there. He saw Paul Heyman consoling CM Punk as he was hurt. Roman gets in the ring, sees Punk vulnerable, beats the shit out of CM Punk, spears him, and then that's how it kind of goes off the air there. So Obviously, what I think is going to happen, as I've said before and as the internet's been buzzing with, is it's going to be a triple threat between Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and CM Punk at WrestleMania. What will the favor be that Punk has? I think the favor will be that Punk politics his way into getting this to be the main event at WrestleMania. But he does this for everybody in a way, because if you think about it, y'all saw that happen live, but if you think about it, like it being a WrestleMania main event, it benefits Punk, it benefits Rollins, and it benefits Reigns. Now they need to amp up that storyline now that Roman's back on TV. I do think that Roman's going to be on the European tour. They need to get that drama and that storyline moving, because we got 5-6 weeks now. Roman's part of that storyline. They got to get that shit cracking. So glad to see Roman back on TV. It's good to see that WrestleMania is now getting kicked into gear. Some of these storylines are forming, of course. And one thing that I heard them say, or not them, one thing that I heard, I forget which podcast or what I listened to, but like as an internet fan, I know everyone's like, we got to do this and got to do this and got to do this. Let them cook. Let WWE cook as they've been doing. And then it's going to be an amazing WrestleMania that we're going to see. It's going to be a great WrestleMania that we're going to see coming up in the next 5 weeks or so. So, of course, thank you for subscribing. If you haven't, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And thank you for watching. That's what I meant to say the first time. And I will see you guys soon. Peace.